to you. Okay. All right, you got me. But are you audience enough to keep me? Ooh, wow, I'm fine, thank you. Folks, look on the bright side. You may have been sweltering in the hot sun out there for 4 hours, but if I were Batman, you'd still be out there. What the hell is that, a shawl? Didn't it? No, my grandmother used to have something like that on the piano. Remember that hung down with little tassels?
Somewhere there's a mariachi band with one outfit missing.
See. Well, anyway, I welcome you to the Tonight Show. Look, folks, let's be honest. This may not be high art, but it damn sure beats the hell out of getting heat stroke out in the parking lot, doesn't it? I'll tell you what happens? You seem in a nice mood tonight, but what happens, it is hot out here. It's got like 100 degrees. It is humid. Everybody is in a terrible mood. To give you an idea how uptight people are in Beverly Hills today, Loretta Young slapped a cop. I mean, my goodness. At least it got Zsa off the front pages. First day she has not been in the news because it was the anniversary of the moonwalk. Pushed her off the front page, and Zsa panicked, went out and slapped Buzz Aldrin. Even Bartles and James were crabby today. Frank came out on the front porch and said, "Drink Kool-Aid, who the hell cares?" Anyway, I saw something on television today. There was a thing called, have you know what a big gulp is?
No.
You don't have any idea?
I know it. Oh, sure.
You go to 7-Eleven, and you get what they call a big gulp, which is 32 ounces. You know what they now are advertising? The double gulp.
How could anybody drink that much?
You don't put that much stuff in your car.
Right.
64 ounces. Did you hear that the vice president, Dan Quayle, wants to move to California? Yeah, it was in the papers today. Dan Quayle, he went shopping for a house out here, took one look at the prices and yelled, "Dad!" I understand the Quayles are looking for a house with a swing set and a good climbing tree. And his wife said, "Now you ought to find out what the kids want." Oh. All of these are gems, and one down, and they turn on you. I mentioned Batman. How many of you have not seen Batman yet? This is a big movie season. A lot of great movies are out, and they estimate that during this summer, $2 billion people will pay to go to the movies. Now, you know what you could do with $2 billion? Department of Education could educate about 500,000 students.
Right.
They could provide housing and care for 50,000 seniors. Or HUD could build a house. Have you been following the HUD scandal? So far, it has cost the American taxpayers $2.5 billion. It'd be cheaper to house people on stealth bombers, wouldn't it? You see, it's a funny thing. For a comedian, you see, a scandal in government's kind of a mixed blessing. First of all, you say it's terrible. On the other hand, I think I know the feeling that Roseanne Barr has when she pulls out that piece of cardboard and the Pepperidge Farm cookies and realizes there's another layer of cookies underneath. It's the same feeling you get. All right. By the way, the B-2 bomber seems to be in a lot of trouble. Some of the people in Congress want to cut it back. The program, as a matter of fact, today in the Senate, Ted Kennedy, who's kind of a ham actor, stood up and asked the question, B-2 or not B-2? You know, I kept looking around the hall for Vanna White today, and then I realized that Wheel of Fortune is no longer on NBC.
Yeah.
You know, apparently, no, they moved it over to CBS.
Right.
And they asked Vanna White what she thought about it. She says, "Well, it's easier to spell." Okay. Guess who got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Billy Graham.
Yeah.
Billy Graham. Well, unfortunately, you don't get a choice where you want your star. And I'm sure after Billy Graham is gone, he's going to be at the right-hand side of God. But until then, he is on the sidewalk between Randolph Scott and Weird Al Yankovic. We're in reruns, as you probably know. We're not in reruns. This show is a live show, but most of the network shows in reruns. Have you seen the new slogans the networks are coming? Every year, the networks come up with a slogan trying to entice viewers. I think NBC is come home to NBC, right? ABC's is something's happening. And CBS's is don't make us beg. It's kind of the same. Anyway. Isn't the Mike Tyson fight tonight? Yeah, he's fighting Carl the Truth Williams, right? Now, we tape our show a little earlier, but here's my prediction. Pete Rose is going to bet $1,000 on Carl. Well, some kind of sad news. Another American company has been sold to foreigners. You know who? A Canadian firm is buying Winchell's Donuts. Yeah, it's a sad day here for donut fans. Here in Los Angeles, the police were wearing black honey-glazed armbands. Anyway, tonight, can I ask you a question? Where do you get something like that? I mean, it's attractive, but...
Goodwill.
No, come on. You have that made?
No, I went into a store and I bought it, and I liked it. My wife didn't want me to get it. I said, I love it. I want to buy it.
Emily didn't care for that?
She didn't care for it, no.
I think it's very
Actually, it was I bought it for her.
Takes a certain elan to wear something like that, certain stature. I'm just rambling. I have no place to go with this. Anyway, tonight, we have one of the young stars from a situation comedy called Empty Nest. Miss Park Overall is with us tonight. We have funny comedian Steve Middleman is here tonight. And one of the real rising stars in tennis, Michael Chang, is with us tonight. Stay where you are. We'll be right back. Once in a while, somebody during the break there registers a complaint. Lady was sitting in the back row, came all the way from New Jersey, didn't bring her glasses, couldn't see a damn thing.
So there she is.
So we got your chair all by yourself. What's your name, dear?
Rena Ferranda.
All right, Rena Ferranda. Can you see okay from there?
Yes, I can. My husband's probably busting, but I can see good.
What? I didn't hear you.
My husband's probably going crazy in the last row, but
We don't care about him, do we? You can tell him what happened later.
Okay.
You know. Now look, there's wheels on that chair. Now you can't go skirting around the studio. You got to stay right there. Okay. Doc is going to be appearing with the San Francisco Symphony on Saturday. That's tomorrow, July 22nd, at the Civic Auditorium in San Francisco.
Wow.
Hey. I assume you'll be playing and conducting, or what?
I will be doing both, yes. It's part of a marvelous pop series that they're having at the Civic Auditorium there.
That's great. Are you going to wear that
The
jacket?
San Francisco Symphony Orchestra.
See, in San Francisco, that jacket would be a hit.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a wide open, fun city, you know. Okay. Got something for you.
What do you have?
Well, I'll tell you what. Most people don't like to admit they read these things. But now, we got a nice, honest audience here tonight. These are what they call the romance novels. They're usually pulp. How many of you people read these for fun? Come on. See, most people think, oh, this is, it's not Dostoevsky we're talking about here. But these are what they call a romance novels, and it's love and passion, and the titles are interesting. Here's one called Diamond Fire. I know nothing about, I'm not plugging these books, but they always have these. One here by a lady by the name of Linda Vale, author of Wicked Valentine, called Star Spangled Lover.
Yeah.
Here's one by Joanne Redd called Desert Bride. Look at the covers. I mean, you see, this promises quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
You're talking hot times.
A long
here.
way from the desert.
Here's one called Wild Sweet Promise.
Oh.
Now, get a load of this cover, folks. Yeah, that's about as racy as they get here. And here's one called Defy Not the Heart. I love the titles.
Yeah.
Don't you like those titles?
Yeah.
We made up titles when I was sitting around, and we came up with No Pillow for Martha.
Poor Martha.
It doesn't mean anything. Anyway, if you're interested in writing a book, everybody's an amateur writer, right? You feel everybody wants to sit down and write a book. Do you know they actually have a book to help you? It's put out by two people called Gene Kent and Candace Shelton. It's called the Romance Writer's Phrase Book. Now, I'm not joking. And over in this they have, it's the essential source book for every romantic novel. It contains over 3,000 descriptive phrases that apparently you work into your narrative. Now, let me give you some of them. These are the actual ones from the book. He looked at her as if he were photographing her with his eyes.
Yeah.
The ferocity of his passion was frightening as well as exalting. Her vow weighed upon her, choking her. His black eyes impaled her. She had admired his driving intelligence. Here's my favorite. Manly wisps of dark hair curled against the V's of his open shirt. And if I could have read it, it would have been even better. She doubted he was a man of delicate scruples. Now, they give you a couple of thousand of those kind of phrases. So what we did tonight, it occurred if those people can do it, you can do it.
That's right.
We've got 500 people. We handed out a bunch of cards before the show. We can't use, of course, all of them. What we did, here was what we asked the audience to do. We'd like your help writing a story, a romance between Brett and Hillary. Please give us one romantic sentence. It can be long or short, happy or sad, but it should describe a special moment between our dashing hero and his stunning sweetheart. Steamy, we ask, but not X-rated. So now, with your help, now, let me give you the names of some of the people. We can't name all of you tonight, but Beth Guglielmo, Lisa Ebo, Kim Hamilton, Carl, is it Michelotti? Carl? Nicolati and Dana Weingarner are just some of the people. We put these together in some kind of order. So here we are. It's time for a feature we call You Are the Author. This is called production value.
Yeah.
You see, we have our pianist Ross Tompkins backstage at the Hammond organ. Since they'd last met, Brett hadn't even looked at another woman, which had made it especially hard for him to buy Tupperware. Brett and Hillary walked down the street together hand in hand, oblivious to the traffic hitting them. Hillary was prepared to spend the rest of her life with Brett by her side. Brett was thinking more in terms of 10 or 15 minutes on something with springs. Brett, said Hillary, I'm not the kind of girl to hop into bed with the first guy to come along. Luckily, you're not the first guy to come along. Darling, I don't mind drying your tears when you cry, but your nose is dripping on my neck. Her lips were like honey, her cheeks were like apples, her forehead was like cream. She was the messiest eater Brett had ever seen. Your eyes shine like stars from the universe, and my heart pounds like an LA earthquake. What I'm trying to say is that I'm choking. Help me. Hillary, if you were a statue, I'd spend the rest of my life shooting the pigeons off your body. Folks, we're on a time thing when we do this. You know, we don't have all day to do this. Brett, Hillary, I want you to get rid of that blonde wig and those silicone implants. The Beverly Hills cops will think you are Zsa Zsa, Brett said steamingly. Brett gazed at Hillary's face with like a gorilla gazing through zoo bars at a kid in a banana suit. Brett read a romantic poem he had written just for Hillary. Let us glide through the heather and out onto the moors. Then I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Soon we will be entwined in glorified unification. He hung 2 tube socks over his eyes and did his impression of Hoss Cartwright walking through the saloon doors. This really is Mr. Right, she thought. The roadway of his life was scattered with women just like Hillary. None of them had gone out with him. He was just a really lousy driver. That is a lovely outfit you're wearing, Hillary, but it would look better crumpled on my bedroom floor tomorrow morning. Brett swept her off her feet in his apartment, which was the last thing he'd swept in his apartment since 1964. Brett had once taken Hillary on a romantic coach ride, where Hillary's head shimmered in the moonlight, and later Brett's moon shimmered in the headlights. Their eyes met, their hands met, their lips met. Their naughty part said, "You, what about us?" Oh, Brett, Hillary, Brett, Hillary, Brett, Hillary, how you been? Hillary's robe fell to the floor as she whispered, "I'm yours, body and soul." Brett said, "Great, let's start with the body." Their passion was intense, and in cars and in bushes. And Hillary said unto Brett in a silent whisper, "Don't do unto others what I always do unto you." Brett and Hillary met, dated, married, had a child, and divorced while waiting in line to see the Carson show. Join us in chapter 2 when Brett says to Hillary, "I love you, I'll always love you. In fact, whoa, is that your younger sister?" There you are, We could probably put that in a book. We could probably sell that.
Sure.
Thank you, folks. Your residual checks will be in the mail sometime in the very distant future. In just a moment, you're going to meet a sensational young tennis player who, as you probably know, won the French Open this year, Michael Chang. But we're going to do this first, and we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Okay, for those of you... My first guest tonight is an incredibly talented young tennis player who captured the hearts and won the respect of fans all around the world. When a month ago, he won the French Open, which is one of the Grand Slam titles. And with that win, he became the youngest French Open champion in history and the first American to win that event in 34 years. We're going to show you about a minute of tape here. Watch the monitors. Here's Michael Chang at the French Open. A little underhanded serve there. You don't see that often. This is against Yvonne Lendl, of course. Yeah, and this is where he took out Lendl. Then he goes up against Stefan Edberg. Goodbye. Just a little to see match point here. Match point, the French Open. Oh, that's too much. Well, you're welcome, Michael Chang. That is amazing to watch. Were you watching the monitor backstage?
Yeah.
Do you remember every one of those points? I've often wondered, when those long matches like that, whether you look back and say, yeah, I remember that exactly, or do they all blend together?
Well, I watched it yesterday,
Yeah,
so I remember pretty much most of it.
yeah. How long did the Edberg match go altogether?
Actually, it was pretty short.
Yeah.
I
The
think
Leno
it went-
match was the long one, right?
Yeah. The Edberg match was pretty short. I think it only went over like 3 hours, something like that.
3 hours. Yeah. And the Leno match was 5 sets?
Yeah, that was a little long. That was about like 15 minutes shy of like 5 hours.
So you had to play a 5-hour match and come back, play 3 hours. That's a lot of tennis, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. One of the things that happened during the match, the Lendo match, where you got the cramps, and it looked like you were going to lose that match because you were down 2 sets, and then all of a sudden, you came around. What happened? How did it affect you?
I don't know,
Was it leg cramps?
Yeah,
basically?
I had cramps here and I had cramp in my calf.
Right.
And there was a point where the umpire gave me a warning because I took too much time.
Do you think you were stalling, or?
He thought, I don't know, well, that's his job.
Right.
But I had 2 cramps right here, and they wouldn't go away. So I decided to take that time to get some water, and I came back, and he was up 40-11 his service game.
Right.
And I decided just to just not play the point. So
Right.
he was serving, and he served the ball, and I was walking up the court already, and he missed his first serve.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, okay. So I sit there for the second one, and he double faults. So
You were in a few mind games there, huh?
I think it was hard for him.
Yeah.
First of all, playing a 17-year-old in the Grand Slam event, and all of a sudden,
Here's something he'd won last year.
yeah, and he's being up 2 sets to love, and all of a sudden he's finding a little kid with cramps.
Yeah.
So,
I should take care of him in a minute, right?
Yeah.
We have to do this break first. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and talk some more. Stay where you are. We'll be back with Michael Trump. Little kid with cramps. We're back. And we're talking with Michael Chang. I'll tell him what you said. Michael had a comment about your music. He was listening. He says, boy, it's loud, isn't it? No, but good.
very
But good. Let me ask you some more. You just graduated from high school when, Michael? You're what, 17 now?
yep, I graduated when I was 16.
Yeah. Now, when you were traveling around a lot, how did you manage to do this? Did you take extension courses, or?
No, I took a test, and they gave me my diploma, and that was it.
Yeah. How'd you do? Were you a pretty good student?
Yeah, I got A's and B's.
A's and B's. Oh, that's pretty fair. What do you think your greatest strength is as a player? Now, they taught that you seem to play within yourself all the time. You don't go through a lot of histrionics as some of the players have done the past few years. You don't seem to emotionally get upset. You don't throw tantrums or yell or anything. Is that one of your strengths?
I've been told my strengths are my legs and my mind. I don't know if that's right, but that's what they tell me. So.
It seemed to work pretty good so far. You think that's one of the reasons you cramp, because you have strong legs, muscular legs? Would they cramp up a little more because of that?
Yeah, they're too big, I think.
Too big?
They've given me some problems in the past.
Yeah. Somebody said you had, when you first started out here, you had a few embarrassing things or strange things that happened to you.
A few.
Yeah, like what? Can you tell us?
I can recall last year I was playing an exhibition in North Carolina, and I just finished a really tense singles match. So I drink a lot of water after the match so I don't cramp. And so I had a doubles match later, and it was a night match, and so there's a lot of people, big crowd, and we go into the first set, and it's 5-4. We're serving for the first set.
Right.
And so all of a sudden I start to feel this little, just kind of, I gotta go to the bathroom, right? So 5-4 situation, goes to deuce, okay, that's okay. Goes to second deuce, all right. Goes to third deuce, all right, get a little worried here, right? Fourth deuce, fifth deuce, right? And all of a sudden I said, that's enough of this. I dropped my racket, and I'm off to the bathroom. And I come back, and the whole crowd sits there, and they start clapping. And,
But I guess you get those breaks. You can stop a match and go to, I guess, a referee.
actually, yeah, you're allowed once.
Allowed
but,
once.
But I usually don't go during the game.
Yeah. What do you envision yourself doing now, say 10 years from now? When you get to be that old age of 27.
You're 27?
Yeah, and then you get to be 30, which starts to get old for a tennis player. Do you look that far ahead?
No, that's 10 years.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's 10 years, yeah.
I think I might
But
be
every
married
athlete
by
has to
then.
look beyond, his athletic career.
Yeah, I think I might be married by then. I'm not sure. 27, I don't know. You look at Jimmy Connor, he's turning, what, 36?
36 years old.
And you think, that's a long time.
That's a long
It's
time.
another 20 years.
Well, it is now. Well, let's suppose that you got married. Do you think that would be good for your game? Because, marriage takes a lot of time and a lot of work. I know what you're thinking. I'm giving this young man advice about marriage. I'm just like saying that occupies a certain amount of your time, and I think when you play at the level you play at, when you're up there that high to the top, you need all of that concentration, right?
Yeah. I really think it depends on who I marry. If I marry the right girl who understands my situation, and who helps me,
Right.
supports me, I think it'd be okay.
Do you know a girl like that right now? And I don't want to be pry too personal, Michael.
Nope.
You did very well. You got the round of 16 in Wimbledon this year. A lot of people thought coming off of that slow French clay to adjust to the fast grass you couldn't do, but you did beautifully over there.
Yeah, actually, I had a little trouble. I came back the week after the French to play in a grass court tournament in Holland, and I played 4 matches, and I lost all 4 matches.
Wow.
So,
Now you got the U.S. Open coming up.
Yep.
September. Do you envision yourself someday? I suppose it's the dream of every tennis player to win that Grand Slam. The French, the Australian, U.S. Open, and Wimbledon, all in one year. Do you think about that occasionally?
yeah, but at the moment, I really don't concentrate on it.
Just take it one match
Yeah.
at a time?
'Cause,
I see your folks there all the time. Your mother and your dad are with you. They travel with you most of the time?
just my mom.
Just your mom?
Yep.
And she's a big booster of yours, isn't she?
Yeah, she does everything. She does everything, so I just have to worry about playing my tennis.
Yeah. I found out when you don't have a driver's license yet.
No.
Then you went on a date, and who drove?
Actually, both my parents came. They drove.
Yeah, I know. That'll go away, too, in a little while. Look, I'm glad you're here tonight. I know you have to run, but I just wanted you to hear because you're a joy to watch on the tennis court. It was just marvelous, and I wish you all the best in your career.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, Michael. Thanks for coming. I like when somebody that age says, boy, 10 years, that's a long time. Yeah. Like it's a lifetime, eternity spread before you. Isn't he a nice young man?
Nice young man.
Yeah, and marvelous athlete. We'll be back in a moment with Steve Middleman and Park Overall. So stay where you are. Okay, reel back. You all right? Steve Middleman is here. He is a writer, actor, stand-up comedian who performs regularly at the Comedy Magic Club locally, and he'll be at Crazy J's in Redondo Beach, August the 9th through the 13th. Would you welcome Steve Middleman? Steve.
It's nice to be here. It's nice to be home. I just got back from my honeymoon. Thank you. Just in Europe, nice town. The French hate Americans. If you botch up their language, they look at you like this. This is an ecstatic Frenchman. It's a Frenchman asleep. It's a Frenchman in the middle of making love. It's like the whole country's overdosed on blue cheese. I smell blue cheese. You smell blue cheese? I smell big hunks of blue cheese. The key there is you have to fake it. You have to act like you know the language. Every time they'd ask me something, I'd break into a really bad Maurice Chevalier impression. Oh, ho, ho, ho. But of course, Pepe Le Pew. Got into a cab, I said, ho, ho, ho. Guy drove me to Maurice Chevalier's house. So I love the restaurants. They had all these tourist trap restaurants just for the Americans. Went to this place, the Cafe U. U is spelled with nothing, just an accent over nothing. You walk in, you take a deep breath, and you go, ew. So I called the waiter over, my best French. I said, hey, Carson. Comes over, has no attitude at all. It's Garçon. Okay, Garçon. He gave me that French Elvis lip. The whole meal I expect him to say, merci, mama. I smell blue cheese, blue suede cheese, a hunk of burner blue suede cheese. So he gives me the wine list. I don't know wines. I said, we'll have a bottle of Moet. It's Moet. Pardon moi, Francois. So I noticed his name tag, right? I said, excuse me, Francois. It's Francois. Wah, through the nose. It should be easy for you. So I ordered Blanc de Blanc. And he looks at me, he goes, it's Blanc de Blanc. He gave me the Oh God 360. So my wife points out all the silent letters and vowels you don't pronounce in French. I said, great, we'll have a bottle of... He said, it's... Mama. Then I ordered some food. I ordered un verre de bœuf. I got a glass of beef. Beef tartare, raw meat in a glass. I don't know about you, but I like it cooked. I like beef char-char. I like it from a cow who fell asleep while smoking in bed, okay? How about escargot, snails, and garlic sauce? Who came up with this? Was there a really poor French family years ago? Unexpected guest dropped by. Nothing in the house. Wife says, I'll be right back. See what I can dig up out there. So the meal is over with. He gives me the check. I give him my credit card. It's a really fancy restaurant. He fills out the numbers in the credit card slip. And he has the nerve to ask me, he says, Monsieur? I said, Monsieur. Mama. He says, what shall I fill in for the tip? I said, au contraire. Leave it blanc.
Okay, my next guest has been with us before. She is Park is from the South. She's one of the regulars on the series Empty Nest, which is on Saturday nights on NBC right after Golden Girls. Would you welcome, please, Park Overall. You think that's... Now, do you like... Is that male chauvinism at work?
That male chauvinism has never really bothered me. If you're Southern, you know how to...
Yeah, you're not skirt around that, huh? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Your name intrigues me. Park Overall. It sounds like a housing development. Where do you live? I live right down the park overall.
I shouldn't have said that. I just got thumped on the head by New Woman magazine. I'll be thumped again.
For what?
For saying that about chauvinism.
Really?
You really have to watch what you say.
I guess you do.
Yeah.
How you been? You look very attractive tonight. Very nice.
Thank you.
Well put together.
I am very sick and tired of going out and buying a new dress for this show. If you invite me back, you're going to have to send out for the dress because I'm not
Really?
a clothes horse.
You're not, huh?
My poor boyfriend, we go and buy this dress. He has to sit there while I try on. This was the last one in a small store.
Yeah.
It worked.
You don't like to shop or what? Or just...
No, I'm not a clothes person. Is it bad for him to wear a watch on here? Dinah Manoff, Carol on the show, said that it was.
What's what?
Wear a watch on a talk show.
Well, what's wrong with that?
I don't know. Is it bad? I forgot to take it
You know,
off.
that's never come up in all the years I've been doing this show. And I hope it never comes up again. No, sure, I guess it's all right to wear a watch.
I grew fingernails, too.
Just for the show?
Well, yeah.
Oh, that's
actually, you know, but I can't paint them very well yet.
Yeah. They're pretty short, aren't they? Do you bite your nails?
Well, these are happening, these two.
Yeah, but there's one there that looks...
We had a line on the show about you.
Yeah?
I said to him, the mail's in, nothing important but that stuff from Ed McMahon.
Oh, okay.
But we haven't had a line about you yet, but I'm going to work on it.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. My name's getting around enough as it is lately. No reason for you to bring it up again. Have you been home since your show was a big hit?
Yes, I was the Grand Marshal.
And home is, again, where?
Well, Greenville.
Greenville.
G-R-E-N-E-ville, remember,
Right.
Tennessee. But I went to Knoxville, Tennessee to be the Grand Marshal in the Dogwood Arts Festival Parade.
My goodness. The Dogwood Arts Festival Parade.
He's like, well, see, it wasn't it, because I wrote on this boat that said, God bless the USA.
Yeah.
And it was very homey. I mean, it was great. And then I stayed in the hotel, and there were all these, well, there were large women in poodle skirts. Lots of them.
Oh.
And they all had things that said tops. Take off pounds sensibly.
Oh, I see.
And they dance.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. They dance in their poodle skirts, and they were a hoot. I mean, they
Oh,
were
sounds
just
fun.
everywhere, all over the
Yeah.
hotel. Large women in poodle skirts, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I want to see if I can be down there next year for that. How do they treat you down there in your hometown now that you're a celebrity and all that?
They're awfully excited.
Are they?
They're more excited than I anticipated.
Uh-huh.
I was out roller skating. That's my new bag since I quit smoking. I told you that. I
You
love
quit
it.
smoking. Congratulations.
Yes. Have you quit yet?
I'm trying.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's difficult.
Do you get irritable?
I'm irritable when I smoke anyway. Doesn't make me... I suppose most people do. Sure, it's a change in your
Yeah,
life
I
and
got
habit
awfully
pattern.
irritable.
Did you do something to compensate for that?
Roller skate.
Roller skating.
See, what happened was one day at work. Are you bored with this story? Do you want to hear this story? See, one day at work.
Did I look bored or something? Or
Well, yeah. It's I watch you careful. I watch you
no,
very
I'm
carefully.
just. That was my. Tell us more.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was at work one day and I quit smoking. It was one of the first days that I had made it till 5 o'clock or so without a cigarette. And the producers come, and producers are these important men that come in with this entourage trailing behind them, and they sit down and they give you notes. And then they say perfect things, and they sort of leave with smoke at their heels. That's what producers do, as far as I can see. Well, you're one. You know how it is. Are you one, too?
No, just him.
Okay. So anyway,
Now I'm bored. No, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing you. So anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, Mr. Witt is one of the producers, Tony Thomas and Paul Witt. So they're sitting there giving me a note, and the note was, as Laverne would not think that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, anyone would think that was funny. Oh. This is not me. This just came out of nowhere. I mean, I couldn't even stop it. It was out of my mouth, and I was dying.
Yeah.
And they sort of looked at it, and I thought, oh, no. I went home, I called my daddy. I said, what do I do? He said, apologize. So I did. I went up and told him that I had gone the whole day without a cigarette, and the ice broke, and Mr. Witt said he totally understood, and if they could do anything to help, let them know. And
Well,
I
that's
said,
good. I admire
certainly
you
will,
for
because
that.
it could get ugly.
Yeah, well, I admire you for that.
Well, thank you, but it didn't get any uglier than that.
Yeah, well,
I got over
are you shopping for a home? Is that true?
I may be a neighbor of yours. So we look in the MLS, you know, the real estate listings book. And I said, look, here's something we can afford for $89,000. And my boyfriend said, that's a trailer in Malibu.
Yeah,
I said, let's get that trailer and Johnny Carson can visit us on his way home from work.
it does get a little... Prices do get a little ridiculous out here.
Oh, come on. I mean, the house that I want is $998,000. I said, but Daddy, it has everything we want. He said, we'll settle for less.
You say your boyfriend?
Oh, yes, you must meet him. He's kind of interesting.
Oh, really?
Yes.
In what way? I mean...
Well, I told you he's sort of a biker type.
Oh, that's right.
But a sweet one, you know. But he's just interesting. Maybe you could put the camera on him one day.
He's in the black leather type of stuff
well,
with the
no, he's
studs
got the
and all
big beard. You know, we used to walk down the street and people would say, hey, ZZ. They'd get him confused.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do you ride with him on the motorcycle?
Yes, I do.
You find that
Yeah,
fun?
and now my dad's kicking furniture and my mama's having chest pains. 'Cause I'm so
So what have you decided on, you and this biker friend of yours?
on a house?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
well, we have decided on no house. I turned to the MLS listing book and I said, what is wrong with my real estate agent? Here is a beautiful house in Brentwood, and for y'all that don't know, that's closer to the ocean, not all the way, but closer.
Yeah.
And I said, here's a beautiful 5-bedroom home. Well, we don't need it, but here it is for $200,000. And my boyfriend says that's $2 million. So the whole thing looks hopeless at this point.
Yeah, I never thought I'd see the day when people describe a house and they say that's 2.5, and they mean $2.5 million.
Oh, I'm terrified. I'm going to get that trailer in Malibu.
Well, trailer living, you ever tried it? Maybe a mobile home, an RV or something.
Well, they make them triple wide now.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
So-
Not double, triple.
Yeah. You're right. What else is happening in your life we should know about?
Oh, dear.
What do you do in the summer when you're off now? You're not taping now, right?
Well, I get movies that they won't let me go do.
Why
I
is
mean,
that?
apparently I sign contracts that I don't know what I've done with my life.
Okay, well, we'll be right back. Stay where you are. You will come back and see it, won't you? You're fun to have on the show.
I'd love to, thank
Okie doke. All right, some of the people on next week are Buddy Hackett, Bernadette Peters, Harvey Korman, jazz great Joe Williams, Clifton Webb. I just want to see if they were paying attention. Clifton's no longer with us, but sometimes you do that just to, they go, what? Have a nice weekend. Good night. I'm humbled by that applause.